Hi guys, welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to talk about how to set up the Let's Encrypt certificate. Here is what we are going to do. We are going to install the Nginx server on a Ubuntu machine, then we will install Certbot, and then we'll point our domain to the server, and after that we'll configure Nginx to handle the domain. After that, we'll create a certificate using Letsencrypt, and then we'll test the configuration. After that, I'll show you how to set up renewal for the certificate. So let's get started. The prerequisites for following along are: you should have access to the server where you want to install the certificate. So I have a Ubuntu on AWS that has internet access. And the second thing is, you should be able to open the server port 80 and 443 to the internet. This is so that Certbot can issue a certificate and we can access the server for testing purposes. So let's get started. This is the server where we are going to perform our activity. First thing, let's run sudo apt-get update. After that, let's install Nginx. After doing this, let's see if we can access this server from our browser. So let's go to the AWS console and let's copy the IP address and test it out. So we can see that it's not working. So to get it working, we need to ensure that the security group is open. So let's go to the security group here and navigate to the security group option. See the inbound rules, edit inbound rules, and we'll add a rule for HTTP traffic and HTTPS traffic. Save the rule. Let's just allow it from all of the internet. Save the rule, and then let's try it again. We can see that Nginx is now opening in the browser. Moving on, let's point our domain name to this server. So the domain that I'm going to use is sagargulabani.com for the purposes of this demo. And let me edit the A record. Let me edit it to point it to this server. And I'll just save it. So the DNS record has been updated here such that when I open sagargulabani.com in the browser, it will go to this IP address. It will take some time for this to propagate. So let's just continue with other tasks till then. The next task we are going to do is we are going to create a page that we will serve on sagargulabani.com. We will configure the Nginx server such that when a request comes in for sagargulabani.com, that particular page will open. So let's continue. Let me make a directory where I will keep these files. So I will keep these files in /var/www/sagargulabani.com. Next, I will create an index.html file at these locations. So sudo I and let me post some HTML code that I have prepared for this particular page. Okay, so what this page basically contains is some HTML content saying hello Sagargulabani. Let's just save this file. And now let's just edit the Nginx configuration to point any request coming for the host sagargulavani.com to this particular index.html file. The Nginx configuration is present inside the etc Nginx sites enabled folder. So let's go ahead and edit that file. Let's clear out these lines so that we can read this file more easily. You can select these files by clicking on capital V and then using the pointer cursor to come down and then pressing D once the lines are selected. So this is what our configuration is currently. There is a server block that listens on port 80, which will return the index.html file from /var/www/html. Now let's add another server block for port 80 itself for the domain name sagargulavani.com, but instead of the path being /var/www/html, it will be /var/www/sagargulavani.com. So let me paste an Nginx configuration that I have prepared over here. So what you can see here is a server block that will listen on port 80, and the server name will be sagargulavani.com, and this will be the path where the index.html file will live, and this line indicates where the index is. These are the other parts of the configuration. So moving on, let me exit out of this file. Once done, let me verify that my Nginx configuration is correct. My Nginx configuration is correct. So let me restart my Nginx server, or rather let me reload my Nginx server. Once these changes are made, let's open the domain sagargulavani.com in the browser and check. Before that, I'd like to check the IP address that the domain is pointing to, since we had made that change recently, and I just want to verify if that particular change is propagated. So for that, we'll use the dig command. So dig sagargulavani.com, and as you can see, the IP address returned over here is 13.235.50.112, which is same as the IP address of our instance. So moving on, let's open the guest window and go to our domain. So as you can see here, sagargulavani.com will open hello sagargulavani. This is the content of the HTML page that we had set up. Now moving on, let's set up Certbot. So to set up Certbot, what we need to do is we need to install the Certbot CLI. So the command for that is, let me close this window, and the command for that is sudo apt install certbot python 3 certbot nginx. Python 3 certbot nginx is a plugin associated with Certbot, which allows Certbot to make changes in the Nginx configuration directly. We don't need to manually make changes in the Nginx configuration if we set up this plugin. Now let's use the certbot command to set up the certificate. So the command for that will be sudo certbot -nginx -d sagargulavani.com, and I'd also like the certificate to be set up for www.sagargulavani.com. We did not set up an explicit pointing for www.sagargulavani.com, but if I take you to my GoDaddy page, and if you see there is a CNAME associated with www that already points to sagargulavani.com, which is the root entry. That is why I did not set this entry up explicitly. Now let's run this particular command. It will ask for your email address so that any kind of notification such as renewal can be sent to your email. So let me put in my email. Say yes. Say no. It's requesting a certificate, and as you can see, the certificate has been successfully received and it has been saved at this location, and the private key has been saved at this location. So when we request for a certificate, what happens under the hood is the organization responsible for issuing these certificates, which is called Acme, will send us a particular challenge. So how this challenge works is Acme expects us to ensure that when a request comes to a particular path X on the domain sagargulabani.com, we send back a response Y. So X and Y are sent to us by Acme. What Certbot does is it takes control of the Nginx server and ensures that when a request comes to path X, it will respond with Y. Once done, Acme will make a request to sagargulabani.com/X and the Nginx server will respond with Y. So now Acme has validated that you own the particular domain sagargulabani.com because you own the server to which sagargulabani.com is pointed and issues you a certificate. Once this certificate is issued, Certbot goes ahead and makes changes in the Nginx configuration such that when a request comes for sagargulabani.com, the particular certificate is used. Now let's go and check the Nginx configuration. So in this Nginx configuration, we can see here that Certbot has added the following lines: SSL certificate key, some Nginx configuration options, and SSLDH parameters. It also has added redirection rules on port 80 such that if any request comes for www.sagargulabani.com or sagargulabani.com, it will be redirected to the HTTPS version of that particular request. So now let's test this particular thing in the browser. Oops. Let's go again to sagargulabani.com. Now we can see over here that the connection is secure and we can see that the certificate is valid. We can see that the organization that has issued the certificate is Letsencrypt. This is the certificate SHA and the public key SHA. So this is the part where the certificate has been issued, but we can see here that the certificate will expire on 24 June 2024, which is 3 months from today. So how do I ensure that this certificate is automatically renewed once it is due for renewal and I don't have to come manually over here and renew it? So Certbot out of the box provides certificate renewal facilities. There is a service called Certbot Timer which is responsible for renewing certificates twice a day. So let's check whether this particular service is running or not. So run it using this command. We can see that this server is running and it runs Certbot twice daily. So this will take care of checking for any certificates that are due for renewal and renew them. Now let's say I want to run a manual dry run to see if the certificates will renew or not. The command for that will be sudo certbot renew dry run. They have actually simulated the renewal and they have given us a success response. Now let's say I don't want to simulate the renewal and I'll actually try and renew the certificates. So the command for that will be sudo certbot renew, and you can see here in the output that it expires on 24 June, so no renewals were attempted. Now if I want to force the renewal, what I'll do is just put force behind the command. Sorry, it's force renewal. So it has forcefully renewed the certificate for us. And there, our website is working as it was working before. I hope this video made it clear to you how to set up a Let's Encrypt certificate for your Nginx server. Or these certificates, if you are not running Nginx, these certificates can be used with any of your servers. Just take the path and use them in whatever server you like. The process remains the same. Besides this, Certbot provides a number of different plugins for different servers, like it provides a plugin for Apache also. So if you are using an Apache server, feel free to use that plugin. Thank you.